When HOA President Karen dragged my 8-year-old daughter from the pool by her hair, she thought her power made her untouchable. She didn't know my FBI agent husband was about to uncover her dark secrets and bring her entire corrupt empire crashing down. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I am a mother of 2 beautiful children. My daughter Emma is 8 years old. My son Jake is 6. We live in a quiet neighborhood called Riverside Community. It has a beautiful swimming pool. All the families use it during summer. That Saturday started like any normal day. The sun was shining bright. Birds were singing in the trees. Emma was so excited. She had been waiting all week to go swimming with her friends. "Mommy, can we go to the pool now? Please?" Emma asked me with her big brown eyes full of hope. "Yes, baby. Let me pack our things," I told her while smiling. My husband David was at work. He works for the FBI. He is a good man, a loving father, a protective husband. But that day he was away on a case. He had no idea what was about to happen to his little girl. I packed towels, sunscreen, and snacks. Emma put on her favorite pink swimsuit, the one with little flowers on it. She was jumping with joy. Jake was excited too. They both loved the pool. We walked to the community pool. It was only 5 minutes from our house. The pool area was beautiful. Clean blue water. White chairs. Colorful umbrellas. Many families were already there. Kids were laughing and playing. Emma ran to her friend Lily. They hugged each other. "Come on, Emma. Let's jump in," Lily said. I watched my daughter smile. Her happiness made my heart full. I sat on a chair near the pool. Jake was building sandcastles in the small sand area. Everything felt peaceful. Safe. Normal. But I did not know that Karen Thompson was watching us. Karen was the HOA president. She was a woman in her 50s with short blonde hair. She always wore expensive clothes. She always had a mean look on her face. Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Karen. She made rules for everything. She sent violation notices for small things. A toy left in the yard. A car parked slightly wrong. She loved her power. I never liked Karen. But I always tried to be polite. I followed the rules. I paid my HOA fees on time. I thought if I stayed quiet she would leave my family alone. I was so wrong. Emma and Lily were playing in the shallow end. The water was only 3 feet deep. Perfect for children. They were splashing and giggling. Other kids were playing nearby. It was a happy scene. I was checking my phone when I heard a loud voice. "You kids are making too much noise." I looked up. Karen was standing at the edge of the pool. Her face was red with anger. She was pointing at the children. "This is a peaceful community. You need to be quiet," Karen shouted. The kids stopped playing. They looked scared. Emma's smile disappeared. I stood up quickly. "Excuse me, Karen. They're just children playing. The pool is meant for families." Karen turned to me. Her eyes were cold. "Your daughter is being particularly loud. She is disturbing everyone here." I looked around. Nobody else seemed disturbed. Other parents were letting their children play normally. "Karen, she's just having fun. She's not breaking any rules," I said calmly. "I make the rules here." Karen screamed. "And I say she needs to calm down or leave." Emma started crying. She was embarrassed. All the kids were staring. I felt anger rising in my chest. But I took a deep breath. "Come on, Emma. Let's move to the other side," I said gently to my daughter. Emma started swimming toward me. Her little arms were moving through the water. Tears were running down her face. Then it happened. Karen walked right into the shallow end. She was still wearing her shoes. Her expensive pants got wet. She didn't care. She marched straight toward my daughter. I said, "Leave now." Karen screamed. Before I could move, before I could even scream, Karen grabbed Emma's hair. My daughter's long brown hair. Karen's fingers twisted into it, and then she pulled. She pulled my baby out of the water by her hair. Emma screamed. A terrible, painful scream that I will never forget. It was the scream of a child in real pain, in real fear. "Emma, help me," Emma cried out. I ran. I ran faster than I ever ran in my life. But it felt like slow motion. Karen was dragging my daughter across the pool deck. Emma's feet were scraping on the concrete. Her hands were trying to grab Karen's arm, trying to make her let go. "Let go of my daughter," I screamed. Other parents stood up. Everyone was shocked. Nobody expected this. Nobody moved fast enough. I reached Karen and pushed her hard. She finally let go of Emma's hair. My daughter fell to the ground. She was sobbing, shaking. Her scalp was red where Karen had pulled. I dropped to my knees. I pulled Emma into my arms. Baby, I'm here. Mommy's here. You're safe now. Emma was crying so hard she couldn't breathe properly. Her whole body was shaking. I could see red marks on her head. Some of her hair had been pulled out. There were small strands on the ground. How dare you push me? Karen shouted. I'm the HOA president. I'll have you evicted for assault. I looked up at this evil woman. This monster who just hurt my child. You grabbed my daughter by her hair. You assaulted an 8-year-old child. She needed to learn respect. Karen said without any guilt in her voice. Other mothers came to help. One woman named Lisa brought towels. Another man named Tom stepped between me and Karen. Karen, you just assaulted a child. This is serious, Tom said. Mind your own business. Karen snapped at him. I picked up Emma. Jake was crying too now. He had seen everything. My hands were shaking. I could barely walk. But I had to get my children out of there. I'm calling the police, I said. Karen laughed. Actually laughed. Go ahead. Call them. I know the chief. Nothing will happen to me. But you pushed me. I'll make sure you regret this. I carried Emma home. She wouldn't stop crying. Jake held my hand tightly. He kept asking, Is Emma okay? Is Emma okay? Inside our house, I laid Emma on the couch. Her hair was a mess. The red marks on her scalp were getting worse. I could see bruising starting. Baby, I need to check if you're hurt anywhere else, I said softly. Emma just cried. She couldn't speak. She was in shock. My strong, happy little girl was traumatized. I checked her body carefully. Her feet had scrapes from being dragged. Her arms had red marks. But the worst was her head. The psychological damage. I called David. He answered on the second ring. Sarah? What's wrong? You sound upset. I tried to speak but the words wouldn't come. I started crying. Sarah. What happened? Are you okay? Are the kids okay? David. I finally managed to say. Karen. She grabbed Emma by her hair. She dragged her out of the pool. Our baby? David, she hurt our baby. Silence. Complete silence for 3 seconds. Then David's voice came back. But it was different. It was cold. Controlled. Dangerous. Where are you now? Home. We're home. Emma's. David, she won't stop crying. There's bruising. Her hair was pulled out. I'm coming home. Right now. Don't let anyone from the HOA contact you. Don't speak to Karen. I'm handling this. David, she said she knows the police chief. She said nothing will happen to her. Another pause. Then David said something I'll never forget. Sarah, I work for the FBI. She doesn't know who she just messed with. She hurt my daughter. There will be consequences. He hung up. I held Emma close. Jake sat next to us holding his sister's hand. 30 minutes later, David burst through the door. I had never seen him like this. His face was white. His jaw was tight. His eyes were full of rage. He walked straight to Emma. He knelt down. He looked at her head, her scrapes, her bruises. A single tear rolled down his face. Daddy's here, princess. Nobody will ever hurt you again. I promise. Emma hugged him and cried into his chest. David held her like she was made of glass. After Emma finally fell asleep from exhaustion, David and I talked in the kitchen. Tell me everything. Every detail, he said. I told him the whole story. Every word Karen said. Everything she did. How she showed no remorse. David listened without interrupting. His face got darker with every sentence. She assaulted our child. In front of witnesses. And she thinks she'll get away with it. David, what are you going to do? He looked at me with those cold eyes. My job. I'm going to do my job. The next morning, David made phone calls. Many phone calls. I could hear him in his office. Yes, I need a complete background check. Every member of the HOA board. Financial records. Tax returns. Phone records if possible. I have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. I made breakfast. Emma didn't eat. She just sat quietly. This wasn't my daughter. My happy girl was gone. Replaced by a scared, quiet child. David came out of his office. He sat with Emma. Princess, Daddy needs to ask you some questions. About what happened yesterday. Can you talk to me? Emma nodded slowly. Did Karen say anything before she grabbed you? She said I was too loud. She said I didn't belong there. Emma's voice was so small. Daddy, why did she hate me? David's hands made fists. But his voice stayed gentle. She doesn't hate you, baby. She's just a bad person. And bad people get punished. Over the next few days, David worked like a man possessed. He barely slept. He spent hours on his computer, making calls, studying documents. I called a lawyer. Her name was Jessica Martinez. She was tough, smart. She specialized in assault cases. This is clear assault and battery of a minor, Jessica said after I told her everything. Plus emotional distress. We can sue Karen personally and the HOA. Will we win? I asked. With witnesses and your daughter's injuries? Absolutely. But Sarah, I need to warn you. These cases can be hard on children. Emma might have to testify. We'll do whatever it takes. She needs to see justice happen. The police did come to our house. They took my statement. They photographed Emma's injuries. They talked to witnesses. But then nothing happened. Days passed. No charges were filed against Karen. The police said they were investigating. Karen sent us a letter. An official HOA violation notice. We were being fined for disturbing the peace at the pool. For physical assault against the HOA president. She was claiming I attacked her. I couldn't believe it. My daughter was the victim. But Karen was twisting everything. David, she's getting away with it, I said. David looked up from his computer. He had dark circles under his eyes. But he smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was a hunter's smile. Sarah, do you know what I've been doing for the past week? Working. I've been digging. And you won't believe what I found. David called me into his office. He closed the door. Papers were spread everywhere. His computer screen showed financial documents. Sarah, Karen Thompson isn't just a mean HOA president. She's a criminal. What do you mean? I mean she's been stealing from the HOA for years. Look at this. He showed me bank statements. The HOA collects about $200,000 a year in fees from all the houses in our community. But look at the reported expenses. Pool maintenance, $15,000 a year. Landscaping, $20,000. Security, $10,000. Okay. I contacted these companies. The actual costs are half of what's reported. Karen has been inflating expenses and pocketing the difference. Over the past 5 years, she's stolen approximately $300,000. I couldn't breathe. How did she get away with this? The other board members. Tom Richards, the treasurer. Linda Hayes, the secretary. Mark Stevens, the vice president. They all knew. They were all getting kickbacks. David showed me more documents. Checks made out to board members. Fake invoices. Money transfers. This is fraud. Embezzlement. Conspiracy. These are federal crimes. David, can we use this to stop her? Sarah, I'm not just going to stop her. I'm going to destroy her entire corrupt organization. The next day, David went to his FBI field office. He brought all the evidence. He met with his supervisor, Agent Marcus Johnson. David, this is solid evidence of criminal activity, Marcus said after reviewing everything. But are you sure you want to do this? This woman hurt your daughter. People might say you're being vindictive. David's face was stone. She assaulted my 8-year-old child and showed no remorse. Then she tried to cover it up and blame my wife. She's a criminal who's been stealing from hardworking families for years. I'm not being vindictive. I'm doing my job. Marcus nodded. Okay. We'll open a formal investigation. 2 weeks after the pool incident at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, everything changed. 15 FBI agents in bulletproof vests arrived at Karen Thompson's house. David was leading the team. They had a federal search warrant. Bang, bang, bang. FBI. Open the door. I wasn't there. But David told me everything later. Other neighbors saw it and called me. Karen opened the door in her bathrobe. Her face went white when she saw the agents. What is this? Karen Thompson, we have a warrant to search these premises for evidence of fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy. Step aside. This is ridiculous. I know my rights. Yes, ma'am. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. They read her the Miranda rights. Right there in her doorway. FBI agents poured into her house. They took her computers, her files, her phone, her financial records, everything. At the same time, other teams raided the homes of Tom Richards, Linda Hayes, and Mark Stevens. All 3 board members were arrested. The entire neighborhood watched. People came out of their houses. They saw Karen in handcuffs being put into a federal vehicle. One agent found a safe in Karen's bedroom. Inside was $80,000 in cash. All stolen from the HOA. By 9 a.m., all 4 board members were at the FBI field office being questioned. Tom Richards broke first. He admitted everything. He signed a statement. He said Karen forced him to help her. He said she threatened to destroy his business if he didn't cooperate. Linda Hayes cried. She begged for mercy. She said she only got $10,000 total over 5 years. She said she was scared of Karen. Mark Stevens tried to act tough. But when he saw the evidence, he knew it was over. He asked for a deal. Karen? Karen said nothing. She demanded her lawyer. She sat in the interrogation room with her arms crossed. Still arrogant. Still thinking she would somehow get away with it. David watched through the glass. His supervisor stood next to him. She still doesn't get it, Marcus said. She will, David replied. The news spread fast. By that afternoon, every news channel was talking about it. FBI raids local HOA in major embezzlement scheme. HOA president accused of stealing $300,000 from community. Federal charges filed against 4 HOA board members. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Neighbors calling to ask what happened. Reporters wanting to interview us. I said nothing to anyone. This was David's case now. Emma heard about it at school. She came home with big eyes. Mommy, kids at school said the mean lady was arrested. Is it true? Yes, baby. It's true. Why did they arrest her? Because she did very bad things. And when people do bad things, they get punished. Emma thought about this. Did they arrest her because she hurt me? I knelt down to her level. That's part of it. But also because she was stealing money and hurting lots of people. Not just you. Good, Emma said simply. Then she asked, can I have a snack? And just like that, I saw a tiny piece of my old Emma come back. She was starting to heal. The legal system moved surprisingly fast. Maybe because the FBI was involved. Maybe because the evidence was so clear. Karen Thompson was charged with wire fraud, federal crime. Embezzlement, federal crime. A conspiracy to commit fraud, federal crime. Filing false tax returns, federal crime. And assault and battery of a minor, state crime. The federal charges alone carried up to 20 years in prison. Tom Richards made a plea deal. He got 5 years probation and had to pay back his share. Linda Hayes got 2 years in federal prison. Mark Stevens got 3 years. But Karen? Karen went to trial. She still believed she would win. Her expensive lawyer told her they could beat this. They were wrong. The trial started 3 months later. The courtroom was packed. All our neighbors came. They wanted to see justice. The prosecution's case was devastating. They showed the financial records, the fake invoices, the bank transfers. Witness after witness testified. Then came the assault charge. I had to testify. Emma had to testify. My little girl walked into that courtroom holding my hand. She was scared. But she was brave. The prosecutor asked her gently, Emma, can you tell us what happened at the pool that day? Emma's voice shook. The lady said I was too loud. She grabbed my hair and pulled me out of the water. It hurt really bad. Do you see that lady in this courtroom? Emma looked at Karen. Karen stared back with cold eyes. Yes, that's her. Emma pointed. Thank you, Emma. You're very brave. Karen's lawyer tried to make Emma look like a liar. Isn't it possible you were misbehaving? Maybe you deserve to be disciplined. I wanted to scream. But Jessica Martinez, our lawyer, objected immediately. Objection. Your Honor, counsel is victim blaming a child. Sustained. Counsel, rephrase or move on. The defense had no real case. The witnesses all confirmed what happened. The medical records showed Emma's injuries. The photos were damning. When it was Karen's turn to testify, she made everything worse. She showed no remorse. She claimed Emma was a disrespectful child who needed correction. The jury's faces showed their disgust. The trial lasted 2 weeks. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty. On all counts. When the verdict was read, Karen's face finally showed emotion. Fear. The judge looked at her with contempt. Mrs. Thompson, you held a position of trust in your community. Instead of serving your neighbors, you stole from them. You used your power to bully and intimidate. And worst of all, you physically assaulted a child. A child who did nothing wrong except try to enjoy a summer day at the pool. Your actions were not just criminal. They were cruel. Heartless. You showed no remorse then and you show no remorse now. For the federal charges, I sentence you to 15 years in federal prison. For the assault charge, I sentence you to 3 years in state prison, to be served consecutively. That's 18 years total. You will also pay restitution to the HOA in the amount of $300,000, plus damages to the Mitchell family in the amount of $150,000 for emotional distress and medical expenses. Karen started crying. Finally she broke down. "Please, Your Honor, I made a mistake." "You made many mistakes, Mrs. Thompson. You will have plenty of time to think about them." The bailiff took her away. She was going to prison. For a very long time. After the trial, our neighborhood changed. The HOA elected new board members. Good people. Fair people. They worked to restore trust. The stolen money was recovered. Some from Karen's bank accounts. Some from her house when they sold it. Some from the other board members. Every family got their fair share back. But more important than money, our community was healing. Emma started therapy. A wonderful child psychologist named Dr. Sarah Chen helped her process the trauma. It took time. Months of work. But slowly my daughter came back to me. Her smile returned. Her confidence grew. One day about 6 months after the trial, Emma asked me something. "Mommy, can we go to the pool?" I felt my heart clench. "Baby, are you sure?" "Yes. I want to go swimming again. I can't let the mean lady take that away from me." I had tears in my eyes. My brave, strong girl. We went to the pool that Saturday. Emma wore her pink swimsuit again. The one with flowers. She was nervous. I could see her hands shaking. But then Lily ran up to her. "Emma, you're here. Come swim with me." Emma looked at me. I nodded and smiled. "Go ahead, baby. I'll be right here watching." She took a deep breath. Then she jumped in. The water splashed. Emma's head came up. And she was smiling. Really smiling. "Mom, the water feels great." I cried. Happy tears this time. Other parents came up to me. They hugged me. They thanked David for what he did. "He saved our whole neighborhood," Tom's wife said. "Different Tom, not the board member." "He's a hero," another neighbor added. David wasn't a hero. He was just a father. A father who protected his child. A father who made sure evil people faced consequences. A year after the incident, I was tucking Emma into bed. She was 9 now. Growing so fast. "Mommy, can I ask you something?" "Of course, baby. Anything." "Why did Karen hate me so much? What did I do wrong?" I sat on her bed. This was an important moment. I chose my words carefully. "Emma, you did nothing wrong. Nothing. Karen's problem wasn't with you. It was inside her. She was a broken person who hurt others because she had no power over her own life. She tried to feel strong by being mean. But that doesn't make sense." "I know. Evil often doesn't make sense. But here's what I want you to remember. What happened to you was wrong. But you survived. You were brave. You told the truth. And because of that, justice happened. And Karen went to prison. Yes. She's paying for what she did. To you and to others." "Good." Emma thought for a moment. "Mommy, when I grow up, I want to be like Daddy. I want to stop bad people." I hugged her tight. "You can be anything you want to be. And you'll be amazing at it." Emma grew up to be a strong woman. She became a lawyer. She helps families like ours. She fights for children who can't fight for themselves. Jake became a social worker. He helps families in crisis. Both of my children learned important lessons from that terrible day. 1. Stand up against injustice even when it's hard. 2. The truth always matters. 3. Power without compassion is just cruelty. 4. Family protects family. 5. Justice might be slow, but it's worth fighting for. As for David and me, we learned something too. We learned that protecting your children isn't just about keeping them physically safe. It's about showing them that actions have consequences. That bullies don't win. That the system can work if good people fight for it. Karen Thompson served 12 years of her sentence before being released on parole. She lost everything. Her house. Her reputation. Her power. She lives in a small apartment across the state. Alone. She has to register the assault conviction wherever she lives. She can never hold a position of authority again. Tom Richards completed probation. He moved away. We heard he works at a hardware store now. Linda Hayes served her time. She volunteers at a women's shelter now. She says she's trying to make up for her mistakes. Mark Stevens is still in prison. He got in trouble for something else while inside. Our neighborhood is beautiful now. The new HOA board uses money responsibly. They put in a new playground. They hired a wonderful lifeguard for the pool. They made rules that are fair for everyone. Emma is 16 now as I write this. She just got her driver's license. She's strong, confident, and kind. She stands up for other kids at school. She volunteers at a crisis center for children. Sometimes I see her look at that little scar on her scalp. The hair grew back, but there's a tiny mark. A reminder. Does it bother you? I asked her once. No, she said. It reminds me that I survived. That I'm stronger than I thought. My daughter is a warrior. My son is a helper. My husband is still my hero. And me? I'm just a mother who learned that sometimes the mama bear has to wake up the papa bear's fury to protect her cubs. This story is about more than revenge. It's about justice. It's about the difference between punishment and consequences. Karen didn't go to prison because we were vengeful. She went to prison because she broke the law. She hurt a child. She stole from hundreds of families. She abused her power. David didn't use his FBI position to get revenge. He used it to investigate real crimes. Crimes that were actually happening. Crimes that hurt many people. The justice system worked the way it's supposed to work. Evidence was gathered. A trial happened. A jury decided. A judge sentenced. No strings were pulled. No rules were broken. No revenge was taken. Just justice. That's the lesson I want people to know. When someone hurts your child, you don't have to take revenge. You just have to make sure the truth comes out. The legal system will do the rest. Sometimes the bad people really do lose. Sometimes the good guys really do win. And sometimes, just sometimes, a little girl in a pink swimsuit gets to smile again.